Fair warms the cockle of your hearts, doesn't it, looking at that lovely, lovely thing. Okay, let's get on with what we were doing. And what we need to do now is build a kind of secondary part down here, which I will assume is something to do with the way that it feeds ammunition into the thing. Now, obviously, the people who make this probably aren't going to tell me how it works. If you do want to, knock yourself out. I'm probably not interested, really, but, you know, I'll nod and smile. Okay, I'm going to make a second cylinder, which I'm going to pull out from the back to ensure that it's going to be nice and flat. And I'm going to get it to the right size and shape, more or less. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to slice the damn thing up once I'm done with it. Now, it goes down here, like so. And I'm going to increase the radius. I'm not going to bother increasing the segments on it or anything like that. Just get it started here. And maybe a little bit small on the radius. Because my view on this is that this is where the ammo comes in and then gets spat out or whatever, processed, you know. Probably comes in here and then out the bottom, chuggity, 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 lots of shells. And then Blaine shoots at the Predator a lot. And it has the same kind of stylistic theming as the other one does. So. Okay, so right click, convert to editable poly. Notice I'm keeping all the colours different still. And I'm going to call this other barrel load thing. Because I don't know what it is. Which is probably just as well, really, because if I did, I'd imagine I'd be getting visits from the police. Okay, I'm going to start off with some beveling. Again, this is a fast process, and you should treat it as a fast process. Just, you know, get it done, as it were. Okay, I think the best thing to do really is make a couple of different pieces on this one. So I'm kind of looking at the reference as I go. Okay, and that bit there is going to straighten up as it comes into the rest of this. So let's stop. And if I look at this shape, it kind of tucks in under here. And I'll assume it kind of merges in over there as well. It's a complicated little shape, to be honest. What I'm going to do now is take this part and just inset it. So I've got this middle bit. Click grow. Deselect that one and delete. Okay, that way I'm always going to have this part to work with as well. So I'm going to have to start removing some of these polygons because it literally blends into the side of this. Try and get it in more or less the right place while I'm still having a chance to. All about kind of tweaking and all that kind of fun stuff at the minute still. Alright, now I'm going to take these polygons here. So it's probably best if I use a marquee select, really. You notice I'm having to think more and therefore like the funnies run out. Could be a good time to start drinking gin, I think. P.S. Alcohol and 3D, not a great mix. Okay, as many, many buskers that didn't make it into the 3D industry have probably discovered to their cost. Nuts. Select the wrong bit. There we go. Comes in like so. Checking this part again. Ugh. So much things to be doing on this model. Another one of these. Bring it out to here. And just clone it to an element. This gives us plenty of guide space for this one. Delete there. Okay, select the outer border and I'm just going to increase the size of it like so, just until it starts to move my bounding box. Now I can select parts that I want to cover in like this. Oh, I'm selecting my border again, aren't I? So there to there. And just keep it going. You'll notice I'm not using the graphite modeling tools. The graphite modeling tools are excellent, don't get me wrong, but I only use them when I absolutely need to. I will be using some of them soon, because there's actually a tool that Autodesk created after we suggested it to them. And it is one of the most useful damn tools in the whole of 3D Studio Max. Bridge. There we go. Now I can go and delete some of these again. Just use the select tool if you start moving things by accident. There we go. And over here now, I'm going to select these edges. Because this is going to allow us to move this part in to there. And I'm just going to adjust this a little bit so it's inside it. Okay, and again, bridge. Like so. There are some cool tools, don't get me wrong, in the graphite tool set. I mean, there's things like the, what do you call it again? Polygon strips and things like that. And there's like some of the new selection tools. However, a lot of them kind of require you to tweak and jink about a lot. And for me, I tend to kick in a tool set and start using it when I've decided that I can no longer do without it. If I can kind of get around without using it for a bit, I'm going to. Now, I know a lot of tutorial sets are going to be like showing you how to use every single aspect of it, but to be honest, the problem with that is you tend to fill your brain up with information that you don't necessarily need to fill your brain up with, if you understand where I'm coming from here. And I always think it's a bit of a nuisance, to be honest. I would much rather be able to model using the tool sets that I know how to use for a specific tool, rather than, you know, try and desperately to remember 500 key combinations for something I can do in about 3 minutes another way. I mean, a good example of this is the tool that I'll be using later, which is the placement script, or placement tool system rather, which now, thankfully, is really, really, really good. But, you know, it's something that I'm going to use a lot because I don't have to use a Russian script in order to do it. Bridge there. Then I can cap this space here. The reason I've done this shape, by the way, is because I want that shape there. It's going to make things a lot easier for me very shortly. Now, here I'm going to inset a little bit. What I tend to do is, if I need my inset to go all the way at the edge, I can inset it from here instead. Now the problem is you tend to get this kind of wonkiness going on, but that can be straightened. There we go. Or you can do it by polygon like that, but there's just no bloody point. Okay, click tick, and go to my front viewport and zoom, F3, and this will allow me to straighten up this. And this. There we go. Drop back into poly mode. Okay, and that gives us this piece here. There's a reason that this is such a complicated shape to, that we're having to build it in such a complicated way, and that's because it's just such a complicated shape to make. It really is as well. It's ridiculously complicated, this part. And I still have no idea what most of the parts here are for at all. Okay, we're going to isolate this bit now just for a minute or two, so My isolate selection. You'll notice I'm not assigning everything to layers simply because I don't really need to at the moment. I'm going to take out these flat parts here because that's what they were created for. I tend to select them just one at a time and then delete them that way. I'll just marquee select here and then alt select there. Makes it a teeny bit quicker. You'll notice there's some run over on the edge there and there. I do not care. Okay, one big hole. Okay, now we can go back to this. And selecting this part, go back into the bevel tool. Need to get a bit closer for this. Bring this part up again because it's actually quite curved. I've noticed they've used curved surfaces here, presumably for strength. Okay, I'm going to bring this along again to about here. Now then there's a part here that's going to flare right out. I'm just going to build this as part of this. Then bring this down again. I'm going to bring it in a little bit. And then out. And again like that. And like that. There we go, like so. And that gives us that shape coming off the side here, which we're still going to add some adaptations and things to shortly. First though, let's go over some of the detailing on it. So left and zoom. And what I want to do here is select these polygons. Now, I've got to be careful in the way I do this, because what I want to do is bring them along, and then rotate them all. Now you may notice that if I rotate them all by 45 degrees, funky things happen. That's okay though, because we can actually modify this. However, it's probably going to be easier if we do it one edge at a time. Problem is, as you can see, it kind of grabs everything around it. We'll do verts instead. Verts don't tend to screw everything up quite so badly. Okay. Now all I do is I scale it up until it's the right width again. As you can see, it's a little bit of a challenge. What we could use is the transform typing, and that will allow us to move it on the axis until it's kind of correct. I think that'll do actually. And over here, do the same again, just grab these ones. Try not to get too much bulge going on in here. There we go. It's a messy way of doing it, but it actually works, funnily enough. Now I can just go in here and grab these bottom ones. I'll grab this one first. Just scale it flat. Move to here. Now this one. Let's Bring back happy memories of free tutorial creation galore. I've always enjoyed making free tutorials. Okay, bring this across to here. Right, drop back into perspective, make sure I haven't ruined the model. Good, that's a relief. Okay, now I can go straight into the beveling tool. Now, as you notice, again, we're going to have to set the bevel up properly. So, set this to group to local normal. Then click the X button, do it again. There we go. And that creates that shape there. Now you can see that we need to obviously work on a couple of the angles here, just to kind of relax them a little bit. There, that makes it slightly better as it comes around. Okay. And up top here, what I'm going to do is just bevel. Like so. Okay, to start, putting the interest pieces into this model as much as we can. Down here. I'm going to scale these in. Bring it across to here. You see, in sci-fi and the creation of sci-fi stuff, it would be a case that we're just creating stuff for, implying how things work. The difference we've got here is that this is technically a model of something that does work, albeit, I've only ever seen it used in the film Predator. But that's not the point. It supposedly does work, so we have to spend slightly more effort trying to make it look a bit like its real-life counterpart. Select here, Control, select by edge, and then I'll chamfer these, but not this one. See how it rounds it out, makes it look nicer. Okay, let's move down here, and we've got some parts that kind of need to come in just down here, so what I'm going to do is look where they go, because there's a few of them. And cylinder, pull it out from here. To there. Control, convert to edible poly. Not control, sorry. Select, convert to edible poly. Next I'm going to do another one here. So shift, just drag to there. Okay, and just click copy. Grab this polygon, Control I, delete the rest of them. And here I'm going to just grab the border, scale it up. And then shift and drag it straight once I've got it on here. Just to get to there first. Right, shift and drag it to about there. Okay. And that creates this shape, which I'm now going to try and blend in a bit more here. So, convert to, well, it's already converted to an edible poly, I don't need to convert it twice. What I need to do is just grab these polygons here. Okay, and do a Control I just to get rid of them. So like I say, what we're doing now is really just blending this in with the rest of the surface down here. So shift and drag just here to where it's intersecting. I want it to go under the surface. Same again here. Okay, I'm going to blend those two together just by bridging them. And that allows us to do a Control A and a cap. And that creates this piece. Now what we can do is just move these ones here a little bit. And you'll notice that now it's kind of smooths this shape in as it joins. There and there. Now then, I just want to make sure that this is completely embedded, because this is kind of important that it is. Okay, it is. That's cool. And it needs to be grown a little bit, so I'm just going to scale it up on all axes. It's important that I'm doing a uniform scale here, because a non-uniform scale is going to really badly mess up our model. Bring that back into there. And I want to work on the polygon at the front here, just get straight into bevel mode again. I can't have it come in before then, let's have it go over the edge. There. And then in. And then out again. Like so. Okay, and that seems to be working okay. Now I'm going to attach these two objects here. One should be intersecting through the other one, and it is. Okay, let's just isolate those for a second. Second. Alright, and what I want to do now is really just make these into one object. So what I can do is, well, the best thing to do actually is save, and we'll do this in the next part, to be quite honest. Otherwise, if accidents happen, we've lost a lot of work. So I'll see you in the next part.